Good morning, everybody. Oh, good night. What's up? What's going on? My name is Anita Bass, and welcome back to the Anita Bass podcast. I hope you are doing well during this crazy time. This podcast is proudly brought to you by Awake Tours, the greatest music festival travel company in the world, which is still here. We're still working. We're just on a temporary hiatus because it is not the best time to be a music festival company when there is social distancing in play, and it is not also the best time to be a travel company when borders are shut. So 2020 is different than expected, but we're still here. But the fact remains, the greatest music festival travel company in the whole entire history of the world. See you in 2021. Okay, so today we're going to be speaking about marketing tips. I guess if I could call this anything, it would be called How to Be Seen on the Internet. I have been studying business for probably 15 years, sifting through the internet, sifting through the shit. So if anything, this is just a compiled, very obvious version of what I have learnt. Anita, why are you giving this away for free? I don't know. No, because, well, some of the stuff I got for free from a lot of my business mentors, and then also just as a gift to the people, because if you give, you will receive, and I want everyone to succeed. But Anita, do you maybe want to be a business coach one day, and so why are you giving this away for free? Yeah, there's no, I never hide the fact that one day I would like to help people make businesses, but similar to having a personal trainer, they're not really showing you or teaching you much else that you don't know. They're just there to help you. Having a coach, a good coach, is a phenomenal thing and helps excel your life by like 2-3 years. Yes, everyone should get a coach, but unfortunately 99% of the world are shit coaches. So, given away for free because y'all will still need me in the future. Y'all will still need me because a business coach can look at what you're doing in your situation and be like, hey, have you thought about this, and this? Or what about this? Or why don't we apply this to this? Or I've done this before. That ain't gonna work. Yeah? So that's why. Next up, some of these points, number one, they're all incredibly obvious. Number two, you may have heard it before. If you're like, oh, Anita, is this someone else's tip? Maybe, probably. I've done so much research that I'm definitely regurgitating stuff that other people have said. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If people are saying something constantly over and over again, there's truth to it and it works. And finally, Anita, why are you giving us business advice when your business is currently chilling? Well, stats on small business is 20% fail in their first year and 50% fail by the 5th year. Including of that. So what's that, 70% by the 5th year? Oh, wiped out. We're in year number 8. We ain't wiped out. We're still here. I'm literally just waiting for the borders to open. So I wouldn't talk about something if I didn't know and it hasn't been trialed and tested for years and years and years. There's stuff that I won't mention which did not work. So the stuff I do mention does work. Yeah? And although I talk about the fact I only pay myself $400 a week, I definitely could have paid myself a lot more. Last year, I sent 11 people overseas, inclusive of influencers, photography, videography. So imagine how expensive it is for you to plan your trip to Europe or America. Now times that by 11 people, of which only 2 of them lived over that side of the world. So it's expensive. Would I do it consistently? No, because that's not a great way to run a business. At a loss for marketing and media. But do I regret it? Absolutely not, because it was necessary. Okay, now to Anita's 21 top tips on how to be seen on the internet, be this for brand, personal, music, anything. Okay, so things that aren't covered here are your basics, ABN, how to register your business name, any licenses, certificates, or permits. Normally, your local small business government websites will have these. People have asked me, just Google it. It's easy enough. Also not talking about any insurances. I'm not talking about your website, how to host it, how to point your domain, how to set up your emails and all this stuff. Again, another ball game. Boring, but necessary. And I'm also not talking about money, what you need, why you need it, finances. But again, don't be ignorant to that because that will eat you and your business alive and not give you a chance. Unfortunately or fortunately, times have changed and the way people used to market stuff, although we can learn things from it, isn't necessarily the way of the future. Marketing books and marketing courses are normally from back in the day, and this is when people wanted to be seen on bus stops, in magazines, etc., right? We're not like this. Okay, think about, you would put up like 10 grand plus to be hopefully seen on one page of a 50-page magazine and hope someone would want to buy your product. Right now, you've got a device in your hand, the mobile phone, which people are on 24/7. So that's a blessing, because you can get in front of them any single second of the day. It's not as hard as before. There's a curse to that, and that's because a lot of people putting content out, a lot of it's shit content. So it's inundated with stuff, so it's harder to stand out. Double edge here. But this is my guide on the new way of marketing. Number one, and I hate this even being number one because it's so textbook, but it's necessary. And that is, who are you speaking to? And don't worry, because a lot of the time you won't figure this out in the beginning. It may take you a couple years to find out your voice and who you're talking to. But who are you speaking to? When you're selling a product or a service, you're selling it to a certain type of person. When they involve themselves in your brand, they feel cool, they feel edgy, they feel like a misfit, they feel motivated, they feel girly, they feel outspoken. So if you're trying to sell to everyone, you're going to probably sell to no one, because you won't attach yourself to anyone, right? You offend some people, or some people will find you boring. You have to pick who you think you're speaking to. So if I was Awake Tours and I was trying to promote a Vegas tour, if I was just promoting Vegas, but it was actually Awake Tours experience, I could get like people aged 60 plus being like, oh yeah, Vegas. And then when they rock up, they're like, ooh, this is not what I signed up for. Yeah. Or I could be marketing it to chill. And then by the time people like be like, oh, I wouldn't like relate to that, I don't want to go on that tour. And then they actually would have been the good person for that tour had I been promoting the party extra largeness of it, of what it actually is. So understand, if you're trying to be too broad and promote to absolutely everyone, you're promoting to no one. So you have to hone in on who it is that you are speaking to. And that also saves you time. Don't think, oh my God, but no, I'm going to block out audience. No, because the people who are going to resonate with your brand will resonate with the marketing. And that's where you have to show them what you're all about. Yeah? Yeah. And they're the ones who are going to buy it. So number two, and this is so important, may I say, maybe top three. Yeah. And this is direct from Gary Vaynerchuk. So no, I did not make this up, but yes, it is important. And that is that you are a media company first and you'll sell your product second, okay? How is anyone supposed to know what you have if you don't show it to them? You are a media company, I'm going to say 80, 85%, and then that media company shows what you sell. I could have the greatest product in the world. And I say this because I did this. I would only release one after movie a year, and people would probably miss that. The internet is full of people posting every day. And so I wasn't acting like a media company, and that's because I disliked the idea of social media. I disliked the idea of being on it. I disliked the idea that I had to go to university and have all this HECS debt, and then I would see people posting bikini selfies, making triple the amount of money. I was butthurt. So I hated social media, and I ignored it for as long as I possibly could. But if you are not showing yourself on the internet, you are invisible. People have their phone in their hand every second of the day. You are a media company first, and that media company merely showcases what it is that you sell. You are a media company. They can't know about your greatness if you're not showing it to them. Next up, number three, is that no one gives a fuck what you're selling. No one. Why would they? Why should they? Why could they? Right? Everyone is selfish. Everyone wants to keep their own money, and that is not fault of their own. This is just the way humans are. Think about when someone hits you up on Facebook and then they're just like, oh, hey, how you doing? Haven't spoken to you in 12 years. I'm doing this new pyramid scheme. Buy my skincare shit, or something like this. You're like, go away. Like, no one cares. Similar, yeah, like no one cares that Anita wants them to go on a trip. Like, no one cares. No one wants to give you their money, right? It is not a human need, like water, food, etc. So no one like needs it to survive. but they could potentially want it. So no one cares and no one gives a fuck what you are selling, because they shouldn't. They shouldn't care that Lucy down the street started a bracelet business. No one cares. Who gives a fuck? We don't want to give you our money. But what they do care about is what you can do for them, how you can make them feel, why they now want your product. How is it going to make their life better? How is it going to make them realize potential in themselves? How is it going to aid their lives? Yeah? So again, I use Awake 2 as examples because that's all I know. No one gives a fuck that I want you to come to Croatia, but you could possibly give a fuck about you're going to go to Croatia and it's going to be a shit time because you're going to have to get ferries and all this stuff and accommodation and lug around your luggage. And for the exact same price, probably a little bit less, I could put you on a mega yacht where you have to do absolutely nothing but wake up at a time to eat the food that's been prepared for you by a chef and then go back into your aircon rooms. You know, like I will make your life better by you coming with me. And I don't feel bad about saying that because I have done both sides. Traveling is tedious, yeah? So I will make your life better. I will make your Euro trip better, and we will have a better time than had you have done it by yourself. Yeah, people will care about that narrative because it's true. Yeah, number one, make sure it's actually true. That is true. More so than what's up, my name's Anita, give me money, right? And that's a shit way to be, okay? So no one gives a fuck what you're selling because they shouldn't. Why would they? Next up is that there are 3 things, and I know some people name it other things, but this is what I call it. Again, don't know if this is Gary Vee. I know he says it, but yeah. 3 things that we do when we post content. It's educate, entertain, or inspire. You are not posting content for any other reason. Think about people who just post about themselves all the time. People who have got it mixed up of what social media should be like, and it's me. I got this. I got a car. I got a dress. I got a watch. Like, cool. How are you benefiting people's lives, and why does this deserve to be on the internet? Like, who cares? Like, stop posting stuff that you just have. Do you want us to build you a statue? You know what I mean? Like, so the reason why you're posting online, from a business sense, I'd address this in a normal sense as well, besides obviously sharing memories, moments, life, is educate, entertain, and inspire. This is the 3 reasons you're putting content up. So educate, facts, stories. We know what we're talking about. We are the professional in our field. We are educating you on what we do. We're showing you travel stories. We're showing you what we do at airports. We're showing you the history of this country. Yeah. So we're educating. Next up is entertaining. So that's making it funny, lol. You make me forget about my day. This is hilarious. Memes, skits, entertain. And then inspire. This is amazing. How motivational. Oh my goodness. This makes me want to be better. Yeah, these are like your self-help and instilling something within people. You're making them be the best version of themselves. Yeah, so educating, we're entertaining, or we're inspiring. We're never gloating. We're never telling them we're better than they are. And we're never just aimlessly showing them shit that we have that they don't because they suck and we're better. Because why would you want to do that? Why? Yeah. Number 5. And this is arguable from some people, but from what I've tracked is there's no such thing as posting too much. Like, you really can't post too much. So the way the algorithm is set up at this time, which it is currently 2020, is that simply people who like your stuff will see it and people who don't will not. So you can post like 15 times a day and rarely anyone will see those 15 times a day. Yeah. If they interact instantly, they will see more of your stuff more. If they don't interact at all, there's a slim chance that they would not see anything at all, if maybe one, or maybe it in like 3 days' time. It just works that way, the way that algorithm's set up. People who want to see your stuff do, and people who don't won't. So that's good, because you can't be too annoying, because you do know that the people who are seeing it are people who want to see it. Awake Tours on Facebook has 19,000 people who have opted in to see the stuff, yeah? Of which, without me paying to promote it, 80 people see it. 80 people get reached, max 200. So that means there's 18,800 people who have also said, yeah, I would like to see this stuff daily, who just don't get to see it daily. Like, that's hectic. So if you want to worry about being too annoying, like, oh, I can't post, oh, I'm going to piss people off, like, you probably won't. You really won't. Like, I'll post stuff and my friends will be like, when? I'm like, I posted, and then I posted 12 other times, and then I did a post about that post, and then no one sees it. Yeah, so people who like your stuff will see it. People who don't won't. So you really don't have to worry about posting too much at this current point in time. Number 6 is when and where to post. So this is something you're going to have to figure out for yourself. And the funny thing is you actually won't know until you start posting. So you just have to start posting. So what is there? Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, email, any worthwhile app that comes up tomorrow. Yeah, obviously some will be better for you than others. If you're selling kid stuff, get on TikTok. Don't be posting it on LinkedIn as much, right? So you just have to figure it out for yourself. So where to post, all of it. Okay? And when to post, honestly, it doesn't really matter. I think maybe that could be an uneducated opinion. I've tried it. The going around the internet, the times that people say are popular are 11 a.m., 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. Okay. See what works for you and what you're going to stick to. Which brings me to point number 7, which is be consistent with your posting. Okay? Because that builds trust. And this is especially in the beginning when you're first building your business. And that's not to say you won't start and then drop off the face of the earth for 6 months and then start again properly. Yeah. But be consistent, because if you're someone coming with like guns blazing, full everything, guys, we're going all in, this is our business, and you're posting everywhere, and then you just drop and you drop for weeks on end, then what's that done? To me, when that happens, it just loses a little bit of trust. And when you do come back up, you're just like, but you already said that, you know? So be consistent with posting and pick a posting schedule that you can stick to. Even if that means holding off for a bit, as long as it's going to be something that you can stick to, that is seen as more professional in the eyes of the people. And also with the algorithm, it picks up normally at the time of making this recording in 2020. To date, it picks up when it knows and thinks that you do post. So if I post 4 times every day, normally, and then once off I'll post 16 times, then it is very unlikely that it's going to favor those extra posts. Again, this can change. I don't know what I'm talking about, but this is a thing as of right now. The algorithm learns what you teach it, as in when you post at what times, and it tends to showcase that more, is what is the general consensus about that. So that's another thing about being consistent. Number 1, it's more professional. And then number 2, that will help you in the algorithm. Yeah? So start posting. Stop being invisible. Dun, dun, dun. Number 8, what content do I post? All right, so important. You need to understand that your content is basically saying what you are okay with, what your brand embodies. Yeah? So if I post something on Awake Tours, again, sorry to bring it up, this is all I know, that is like, can't wait to get fucked up on the weekend, people would be like, why? Like, that's an irrelevant piece of content to them, I guess, right? I'm not promoting a tour. I'm not showing them like Vegas. They're like, why would you post that? But what that is doing and what that is saying is letting people know that we are the type of company that is okay with that conversation. We are the type of company that is okay with that wording. We're the type of company that's okay with this feeling. So if you resonate with the concept of let's get fucked up this weekend, and you resonate with the word fuck and partying, then you will resonate with our brand. And it is okay. And you can be the type of person to say these things, and you can be the type of person to be involved in conversation around this. And so you attract your tribe. Think about a life coach who swears. Let's go with my theme of all my podcasts, the word fuck. No, who swears in their posts, a life coach, yeah? they're going to attract people who fuck with that, who resonate with that type of life coach. And that is good, because if that person was to hide that part about them away, what would happen is that when the client who wanted a more fluffy, peaceful, meditative life coach comes to this swearing life coach, they're going to be offended. They're going to be annoyed. Like, why didn't you let me know before I paid you money that you swear and you're a bit more vulgar than I was willing to bear? You know what I mean? So your content shows what type of conversation. Your content, your videos, your written is this is us. This is what we do. This is our people. And if you're one of us, then jump on board. And if you're not, I'm sorry, but in a plus, at least we've weeded that out now. We know now. It's much better than someone rocking up to an Awake Tours tour and seeing people drinking and be like, oh my goodness, I thought we'd be in helicopters and dining in 5-class restaurants. You're like, but they seen the videos, so you really can't be tricked. So that's good, because it weeds out the people who won't deal with your business well if they were to be involved in it. Saves them time, and it also saves bad reviews. So if someone was to involve themselves in a business and it was just so far from what they actually thought, they would be the type of people to let you know that it was shit, and they would be the type of people to bring it down. So you let people know through your content. And what content? Educate, entertain, inspire. Number 9 is that you are not your business. When you have something that you've created from your brain and it's your little baby, it is easy to obsess. It is easy to get hurt. It is easy to be offended. So you need to understand that you are not your business, and people saying it sucks or they don't like something, it's not saying that you suck or they couldn't like you. And I learned the hard way. I used to be like, hey, do not. I created this with my brain and hands. Do not say that. But I had to learn that it wasn't really a direct dig at me. Plus, no one even knew that it was me behind the computer, so it couldn't have been. But it's very easy to get caught up in it. So try not to obsess. You're not your business. And this also comes into looking at your stats too much, which is something that I don't do now, thank goodness. In the beginning, and I'm talking about stats of who's watching what, Instagram stories, what days they're watching and what they're not. In the beginning, it's obviously when you're feeling yourself out and you want to know, it is good once you're learning to develop your brand and your voice. After this, not so much in my opinion, because once you're very set and you know who you are and you know what your business is and you know what the voice is and the feeling and the culture, then you're not going to change that. You're not going to sway that anyway. So if I'm to look at who's viewing my Instagram stories on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I can start obsessing over the numbers. Oh, why is this 1,000 views today and 300 yesterday? Like, what? Oh, okay, cool. Well, maybe it's the content that I posted. And so that means I'm going to sway my content so it's to those 1,000 people. And although from a marketing thing, in the beginning, this is good, but after you've established your voice, if you continue to just obsess when you actually know that you're posting the right stuff, it's very disheartening. And then you start changing your content for the people who you think it is. And then in a way, you can start becoming not genuine as you start to make content for certain people as opposed to the voice that you promised people that you would give them. Yeah? If that makes sense. So as long as you're being authentic, once you have established your brand or who you are or what you're doing, you're fine. Try not to get too hurt, because you will. And it makes you sad. Number 10 is that people buy your story and not your product, okay? So we've already established that people don't care what you have to sell. And they need to know why, yeah? They like knowing why. They buy your story. Think about this example. So if I just started selling dolls, cool. Anita's selling a doll, buy her doll. No, why? Don't need a doll, whatever. Cool, don't care, she's selling dolls. But if Anita used to be at home by herself when she was young, and her mum would work late nights and she always felt alone and scared, and her mum made her this one doll once, which was her little friend who would stay with her until her mum came home and could protect her, and this doll made her feel protected. And now she started a business making dolls because she wanted every little girl in the world to feel protected and safe, and this is why she's making these dolls. You're more inclined to buy it. Yeah, people like your story. They buy why you're doing something, not your physical thing. Number 11 is give them what they signed up for. Again, awake to as an example because I can. Give the people what they were promised in the beginning. And that is because if you don't, that will piss people off. So Wake Tours is VIP party, and although I'm adding a fitness and a wellness one, they're going to go into a separate brand. Just because I have changed as a person and just because you change, if you have promised people something from a brand's perspective, you really have to be careful if you're going to completely flip it, right? If I have 19,000 people wanting party videos and I just go to practices and yoga and chants every day, they're going to be like, what on earth has this page done? Where has it gone, right? And so you need to make sure that you're kind of in line with what the people signed up for. Unless, point number 12, it is you personally who is your business, in which case you have given people enough notice to understand that the business will change with you. My point number 12 is, should you separate your personal brand from your business? And I say if it's a brand, like thing, you should, right? Because if you're just posting solely on your personal brand for an actual full business, I mean, if this is your personal training or if this is your massage or if you're a life coach or something, then by all means, that is your personal brand. Roll with it. That is you. But if it's a business for a business sake, what you think is cool now, and although you may think you think it's cool to the day you die, you may not necessarily think is cool to your 80. I want to Wake Tours to go until I'm 80, but I don't want to be dressed up in festival gear with glitter on my body at 80, and nor do I think people would appreciate that. So I need to keep them separate. Yeah, I can't keep Awake Tours and make Awake Tours change with Anita. It's not going to go spiritual, and then it's not going to start selling mum products, and it's not going to start doing bingo live streams. Like, it's not, okay? So personal, brand, and business, I think, in my opinion, again, uneducated, don't know fuck all, do not take my word for nothing. Separate it if you can, if it's a business. Okay. Number 13. From Gary Vaynerchuk King, direct quote, is document over create. Okay? This is large. This is huge. Document what you're doing over just one final product. Again, I used to release one after movie a year and hope that people would see this one after movie a year. The chances were slim. Some people would, and it was great quality production, but a lot of people wouldn't because the internet is inundated with shit in your feed every second of every day. So documenting, as long as it's educating, entertaining, and inspiring, and as long as it's truthful and is worthy, is very necessary. So what does that look like? That looks like, instead of just Vegas after movie, that looks like us getting on the airplane, us going to the airport, how excited we are, us checking in with each other, us talking to artists and DJs, us getting to our booth on the stage, like showing the actual journey of how we get to where we get to, of then which an after movie is released of that day, of what it was like to be on stage with Bass Rush. If that makes sense, yeah? So we're documenting it. So if you have a clothing brand or a jewelry brand or something, you're not just, hey guys, selling this. You're showing them maybe the history of the products. Where does it come from? How do you do it? Show them some tips. Give them some background. Yeah, so you're documenting what you're doing. If you're a DJ or an artist, you're documenting how you do the sound production, how you feel, your influences, who motivates you, you know, what programs you use. And then as the final part of your content, you are releasing that track. And that is just one. Whereas before, you would have just released that track. You have a lot more content this way. It shows people how and why you do what you do. Yeah? So document over create is huge. Not everything has to be polished. Not everything has to be a 4K after movie. Yeah. Number 14 is get people talking. Very simple tip. To be honest, I should do this better, but I do not. So social media itself, interaction, the algorithm, the more people talk, the more comments, the more shares, the more you get seen. So if we're going to give people content, that's why you see people who are like, I'm eating oats today. What are you eating? Like, should really do more of that stuff with my brands, but I don't. But that is important to get people talking, get people tagging, just because if at the very least it ranks it higher in all your grids and your algorithms. And yeah. Number 15. This is broken up into 4 parts. This is important. This is to do with your mind. So get over yourself is the head of this. Just start posting. Get over yourself. You're embarrassed. You're being scared of being judged by people who don't matter, and so they may as well be invisible. So point number A is think about it in a way that you are doing the world a disservice if you don't show up with what it is that you have to bring. This is not about you. This is about them, and this is about you ridding them of the opportunity to access your gifts and what you know and they don't but would help them. Like my videographer, Scott, if he was like, oh, I'm so embarrassed, I can't be a video man, oh, who was I to think I am? That wouldn't have even affected him as much as it would have affected me. You know, like who is he to take away my right of the greatest video that I have ever seen in my life just because he's too embarrassed to show up? So if you start thinking about it like that, get over yourself. You're doing the world a disservice by not showing up with your gifts and letting them know, right? They can use what you have, but they can't use it if you're too embarrassed and to like show up, okay? So you are doing the world a disservice by not showing up. So get over yourself. Part B. You are embarrassed by certain people, okay? And you need to get over that. Who are these people? Normally your mum, your boyfriend, girlfriend, your siblings, your friends. These are the type of people you're like, oh, when I start posting, they're just going to think, what is going on? And I know this because I did it. But you need to, I will find effective, you just need to let these people know. Like if it's really that bad, like number one, it's not, they don't care, to be honest. I can tell you from experience, no one really cares what you're doing. If you're embarrassed of certain people, sit them down. Your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, sit them down and be like, hey, I'm hell embarrassed. I'm about to start posting a lot. I know I normally don't post about this. And to me, I feel like it's imposter syndrome because I know that you know that I'm working on this. And I know that other people may think that I'm on a pedestal, but you don't because you know, because you see me working on it. And so I need to let you know that I'm going to start posting a lot of stuff. And so I'd appreciate it if I guess you didn't give me shit, or I just needed to say that out loud so then it would lose its power. Yeah. And most of the time people will be like, oh yeah, that's cool. Or they'll be like, I don't understand, but okay. I probably don't even notice. Or they will be like, that's so dumb and why are you doing that? And then you will just walk away from that person. But even by saying it, that has lost its power. If you feel uncomfortable to say it to people, you can either write it down and just never give it to them, or you can just kind of act as if you've said it to them or say it out loud to yourself, which sounds weird, but it actually does something, just verbally getting rid of it and then realizing that you have nothing to lose at all but everything to gain, okay? And so their opinion, which most of the time they don't even have one, but their opinion should not stop you from doing that. Part C is that you are not selling to your friends and family, and you need to understand this. Most of y'all, me included, are scared because you know your friends and family who have seen you trying to figure this shit out are the ones who are seeing this, and they're like, what is this, right? But you're not selling to them. My friends will support me and be like, yeah, cool, like to anything I do. But I could come up with glow-in-the-dark shoelaces and they would say that. Like they don't care. They're not buying my stuff. They might book a tour, And if it's anything to you, my friend, if it's any consolation, I don't know the word. Let's change the sentence. If it's anything to you, my friends booked a tour, I think 4 years in, but you're not selling to them. That is the thing. The people who are listening to you are normally not your friends. They're people out there who need your product or service who don't know you personally. Your friends and family will support you regardless, but you shouldn't care as much about their opinion of your videos and stuff because they're not even listening. They're not even watching. And I mean that in a nice way. Like some of my friends' stuff that I post, like I love them and I'll support them forever, but it's not my thing. Yeah? Like I've got my thing and my people and what I want to do or the products that I would buy and some of the stuff that they would do, like it wouldn't be my thing. And that's nothing against them. I'm just not their clientele. But I will support them and I'll even buy a lot of their stuff to support them. But they're not trying to get my attention. So why should they care about my opinion on their videos or posts or not post because of me? They shouldn't. They should be posting to the people that they should be posting to. Okay. Part D, I've harped on about this in all other podcasts, so I'll try not to, but I will a little bit in case we have new people on here, is that you think about yourself more than others do. So do not think that everyone is obsessed with you or thinking about you every single second of every single day, or that they are putting you above their needs in every single thought that they have. Yeah, so if you see someone posting annoying stuff, you're not like, oh my God, I need to tell everyone. And then you go and tell your friend, your family, your cousins, your uncles, your aunties, and everyone. You don't do that. You just think that's annoying. And that thought stops there. It doesn't really normally carry on for more of the day. And if it does and it bothers you that much, you just unfollow them. So they now have somebody who doesn't want to see their stuff, not needing to see their stuff, and it's worked itself out, right? So you think about yourself more than others do, and that's why you're not posting, and that's why you need to get over yourself, because people don't think about you as much as you do. So just post. And if they find it annoying, there is an unfollow button for a reason, and they can learn how to click it. There's probably a YouTube tutorial on how to do that. If not, send them to me. If you got people in your inbox telling you how shit you are, send them to me. I'll let them know how to unfollow on Instagram. Not that hard, but yeah, it's not going to happen. Okay. Number 16 is show people what they need to see. Like really spell it out for them. Treat them as if they have no clue and don't assume that they know things just because you do. Okay? Look, it's easy for you to think that everyone knows everything about you, what you do, just because you do, but they do not. When I'm selling, say, a Vegas tour, I could be like, and we're going to the MGM Grand Penthouse. And it's like, yeah, cool. And it's like kind of a selling point, but not really. But if I really go into it and I'm just like, we are going to like Thriller's top 10 penthouses in the whole entire Las Vegas. It's the only one with a balcony. It's got the best view hands down. People have got married here. It's attached to the MGM Grand properties, which is one of the largest, most popular properties that there is. You know, hosts all type of events here. Diplo has performed at their nightclub. Diplo is a touring artist who has been known to tour 360 of 365 days. Da, 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 da. And it's a bit more of a wow factor once they actually know what they're getting into. Yeah? As opposed to me just being like, we're going to the penthouse. Cool. What's that mean to me? But I know what the penthouse is because I have been involved with it for so many years. And that's the reason why it's part of the tour, because I've been so amazed by it that I'm like, everyone needs to see it. But how can people know something so cool if you don't tell them? Yeah, so just treat them like they don't know anything and assume that they don't, because most of the time they don't, because it's not their thing. And you think everyone's involved in your product because you are every living second, but really to them it's just something that they happen to pass by and they may resonate with and they may purchase potentially. Yeah? So if you have a clothing brand or something, again, I would go into detail about the products, about why they're good, about why we use them. So many people have, say, ethical practices about wanting to use like local products and this type of bagging and this type of thing because it's vegan and animal friendly and shit, but they don't say that. So they have gone about increasing their production costs by 80%, but people don't actually understand that. And they're like, why am I paying more for this when I can just go and buy this? And if you actually sat down and had a conversation, they would list all those points and they'd be like, oh, wow. You're like, well, didn't you know? I wouldn't make a business if it didn't have those attributes. And they're like, well, no, how am I supposed to know? You didn't tell me. So just treat people as if they really have no clue and don't assume that they do, because you do, because you're involved in it all the time. And alternatively, this also provides you with a lot more content because you now have more content to post about why you do what you do. Number 17 is be the professional in your field. Show why you are the professional at what you do. And again, this comes with time and actually being the professional in your field. Make sure that you are. If you're not and you're talking shit, then stop that at once and go back to where you deserve and actually earn the right to do that. So you do this through videos, facts, showcasing creative processes, share info on the history of your products, share history on the info of the tools that you use to create your products, explain situations where other people have used your products in different parts of the world. Like, just explain why you are the professional in your field. You are the leader. So you need to build trust. Yeah? And again, make sure you actually know. And I only say this because it annoys me so much for people trying to get money for stuff that they really don't deserve. And there's a story, which this person would never find out because I don't even really know who they are, but a business coach, which I saw on the come up, he began posting videos and stuff, and his videos were, Gary Vee tells me I should post every day, so here's a video, bye, and would just make videos like that. He slowly gained traction just by being in people's feeds every day, to the point he then changed his bio to social media guru. He set up fake interviews of people asking him stuff, and then he started a business where now he charges people to give them advice for stuff which he has gotten from the internet. And whatever, people do that, that's fine, but it's only like, to me, because I literally saw him expand through that in such a short amount of time, like I'm talking like 3 weeks, and go from, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I saw his profile at like a couple followers, to then gaining traction, to then talking shit about it and saying that he's helped businesses do it, to then now actually having the business, about teaching people how to market their business, where he's never actually had a business that he's had to market, but now he does have a business, but it's that bullshit one. And this is what people do. And this is the majority of business coaches. And this is the majority of coaches. So side note, if you are getting a business coach or a coach of any sort, ask them for facts, ask them for figures, ask them what they've done, ask them to show you, and wait for answers. Because a lot of them cannot. You got people who are claiming to make so much money, and it's a clear lie. Like, I signed up for something once, and this person was like, oh my goodness, you're going to be making $6,000 a week. Like, easy, just sign up, like, it's done. And then, like, I found out they also had like 2 other side jobs, and they'd be like rushing frantically to and from it. And I'd just be like, well, I don't think I'm going to make $6,000 a week if you are my coach and you're not making $6,000 a week, because you have these other jobs which I know are just there to make extra money. So something's going on here and something wrong is happening. So ask questions and wait for answers. Number 18 is create demand or a call to action. This is a whole nother ball game, I guess, of sales, which I won't go into on this podcast, but just creating a way or a place for people to purchase your thing is amazing. You think, again, people just waiting around to purchase your product. You think that people are waiting around to click on your website. They're really not. You really need to point them in the direction. Hey guys, I'm doing this. This is the date. This is what's up. This is what we're doing. Come through at this time on this day and let's roll if you want it. Or like give them some sort of inclination. It's a lot easier than just having an open website for 52 weeks of the year and hoping people stumble across it and want to purchase your product where you've drawn no real attention to it at all. Okay? So number 19 is showcase what you'd like people to see, as they can only really want what you show them they can want. I know it's a bit of a tongue twister, but again, I can only use an example to really explain this, is I could showcase Croatia every single day for 3 months straight. And naturally, people are going to be more interested in Croatia than Coachella because I haven't showed it to them. But if I would like people's attention to be drawn towards Coachella, I need to show them this. I need to explain the Coachella process. And yeah, because people just need to be pointed in what direction. And different things are suited to different people, so everyone needs to see everything that you have to offer. Okay? Okay. Number 20 is very, very, very important. Again, Gary V. Hey, man. Gary Vaynerchuk, number 20, and that is content is the price that you pay to stay relevant. Yeah, it's a small entry fee, but it is what you need to pay in this world of absolutely full of inundated shit content every day from millions and millions of profiles and people trying to sell stuff and post stuff and blah, 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 blah. Internet is saturated, okay? So to stay relevant, you need to post regularly from a business point of view, okay? You do. I cannot just not post for 10 months and rock up for 2 weeks a year and demand people pay me money. Number one, that's wrong. Number two, that's really wrong. That'd be horrible. But you really can't. Content is the price you need to pay to stay relevant. Content is king. Think about if somebody was, well, obviously, right? Like you're selling something. You're selling something and you want people to buy it off your page, which hasn't posted for 11 months. You're still there. You're still doing the work daily. So you think everyone should assume that. But I'm going to tell you that these people are more inclined to buy from a page which posts every day and seems to be there and seems to be on call and seems to be around and interacts with their community, as opposed to you who hasn't posted in 11 months and looks like you shut up shop and you have gone off into another planet. Yeah? So content is the price that you pay to stay relevant in business. And it's annoying, man. I don't love social media. I love the opportunities, but like if I could, I wouldn't post because like, I don't know. I like sharing, and on my personal one, I like sharing stories and that, but it's like a part of it. And now that I'm telling stories and that, I don't mind it, but it's like, who do I think I am that people like have to know what I'm doing? Like, get over yourself, mate. Like, it is like that. It's like, who in the world is that important that other people need to give a fuck about what they're doing on a daily basis? Like, no one is. Shush. Enough. So if content wasn't the price to pay to stay relevant in business, I would love to not be on it, because the screen time on my phone is getting to 7 to 8 hours a day, and I don't like that figure. And it would be way easier. It's not great making content. It's not fun. It takes a long time. Like, it takes so long editing, creating, putting text on photos, doing 7 revisions for something that someone may not see, doing 100 revisions for something that no one cares about. Like, it's hard, but you have to. Content is a price that you pay to stay relevant. And this isn't a point, but also, like, within content, within branding, why, like, you can see how obviously successful this is just from things which you see in your shop versus things on Instagram and how they can be successful. I often use the example of, like, the body scrub. I don't know, body mitt, girls coffee scrub. I don't know, this shit. And I don't know if it's Frank or Frankie. I've never used it, and I don't know. I'm not associated with them. They do not get free promo. No, but I don't know. Is it Frank, Frankie? Who knows? Anyway, so they're like scrubbing this stuff, and when they send it out, it's like, hey, baby girl, send us a photo of your scrub, XX. And people are. And it's like this massive community of hundreds of thousands of people using this scrub and feeling a certain type of way of this scrub and belonging to this scrub club. No, but like to a group of people where you can get the exact same shit from Woolworths, Coles for honestly $15 cheaper. I know, because I've seen it. I've seen it in there. But for some reason, we associate with this brand of this collective of people who make you feel a certain way and do a certain way because their page is set up in a certain way. The branding, the colors, the things they talk about, the tips they give, the info they give, the feeling that they make people feel inside of them is now something that these people would like to be a part of, so they give them money as opposed to just walking to the shops and Woolworths and picking it off. For anyone from another country, Woolworths and Coles is just like groceries. Yeah? Yeah. You can easily just go and pick it up, but people feel better when they're involved in a community. I don't know. But that is an example of how branding and marketing really does affect people's brains. You know? So point number 21. And my final one is one that I talk about forever, and that is just patience. Like, shit takes time. Stuff takes lots and lots and lots and lots of time, no matter how good your product is. Yeah? No matter how good your product is. And so this is why you need to make sure it's something that you want to spend a lot of time on, because it just takes time. Like, we're in this for the long game, my friends. I wish there was another answer. I wish that wasn't it. But we are in this for the long game. If you're looking to make short bouts of quick money, understand that, like, maybe you can, but that's not sustainable. Something that generally pops up really, really, really quickly, unless there are freak 1% to 2% things that actually are like, boom, and now it's people's lives. But to get quick money, you either do something dodgy or you screw people over, or it's just a once-off thing that pops up, which you don't get to hone in and make sustainable. So short-term money is not really ever something that can be transferred into a long-term thing. So understand we're in this for the long game. So make sure that it is something that you enjoy doing. As I said before, it's very, very, very hard to keep going anyway, day in, day out, hours, not getting a single cent, not giving a single response, not like, I've been posting awake tours for years before even getting like people interacting with the page. It's like, it's disheartening. And it's pointless, right? It feels pointless, and then suddenly something clicks eventually. As I said, mine was 5 years before I got, like, I guess, recognition as being something of worthy. So yeah, patience is unfortunately my final tip, and I wish that it wasn't, because I have so many business ideas in my head that I just want to pop off tomorrow, but I know that it's not going to get anywhere because I don't want to spend that much time on it because I don't love it. I just want to see if it works. So patience and time and hard work, my friends, is the final one. And yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Like, just patience before you get recognition. So many people want recognition for something that they haven't actually done yet, and that's bad. You're shooting yourself in the foot. You will get recognition, but eventually, and when your products are of quality and when you deserve to. So stick in there, right? And although the tours have changed a little bit, the general consensus, and I'd probably say 70% of it, especially like Coachella or something, it was as good then as what it will be now. Like, it is. Yeah, that one, in particular Coachella, hasn't and won't change because it can't possibly get any better. And so what I'm saying is the product that I had back in 2013 is the product that I'll have in 2021. And why couldn't I get recognition for how great it was back then? I don't know. I just couldn't, because it was not my time to. Patience and time. Although I'm selling the exact same thing, it just took long time, right? So patience, my friends. Patience. Okay, this is the end. So I hope you may have learnt something. I'm sure you guys are scratching your head and being like, whoa, that was very simple stuff. It's like telling me to exercise and drink water. But guys, the simple stuff is the stuff that people don't do because it's so simple that they just don't do it because they want another answer. They want a bigger answer. They want some magical solution, but it's not. It's just the day in, day out of repetitive doing. Okay? So I hope this could be of some use. It actually is pretty cool that I gave that all out for free. It's actually part of this book that I created about how to be seen on the internet and establish your brand. And yeah, so I hope you guys got something out of it and appreciated me spilling some secrets. Okay? I love you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.